Right now, Pittsburgh's best sports show is about to begin. Call us or tweet us. We've got things to talk about on the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook.
All right, Ken, thanks very much. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another edition of the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call, powered by FanDuel Sportsbook. We're here talking sports until 11 o'clock at 412-575-2600. That's the number of the Borders and Borders hotline. You can also tweet at KD Pomp, at Tim Benz PGH. Tim Benz from Trib Live Media is here, as well as the Steelers pregame show, and we always have a lot to talk about. So, Tim?
I've got all my wires on, Bob, like the Houston Astros. I'm ready to go. I'm all wired up.
Wired up. Okay, I guess we'll start with that then, because new developments you've already known. First of all, it started today with Carlos Beltran, who some say walked out. He was fired.
Sure he was.
Carlos Beltran, for those of you who don't know, was a player on that 2017 Astros World Series team. Now he became the manager of the Mets without ever managing a game, forced out because of the scandal. And my question there, however,
he's the Mike Haywood of the Major League Baseball managerial ranks.
Yes. But I think the Mets could have made a case. Now, he apparently lied when asked about this a while ago in advance of him becoming the manager, so I think they didn't like that part of it. But, I mean, he was a player, he carried out what was basically brought out by Alex Cora, and who knows how many other people in upper management are there with Houston. Do you think Beltran should have paid the price for that?
Well,
as a player, I'm talking about at the time.
As a player, he was deemed to be one of the veteran leaders. So because he's one of the veteran leaders, the thinking was that he was very much involved in disseminating how to do this. Now, as far as Cora, Beltran, A.J. Hinch, the general manager, all these different people that have been associated with this that have blood on their hands from what has been going on with the Astros, I think it's kind of funny that we're all whipping ourselves with a wet noodle as the sports community or the greater baseball community, be it players, be it media, be it fans, for not being more vigilant about this, when from everything I've heard, people were wondering about this. Like Trevor Bauer on Twitter today, Bob, was suggesting he knew about the wire thing. Say something. Well, why is Mike Fiers the only guy?
Mike Fiers is the only one, and I give him credit because he's put his name to it. He
right,
didn't
exactly.
go anonymous on it.
So, like, everybody's coming out now and saying, well, Gary Sheffield's like, I knew somebody who knew this. Scott Brocious' kid is saying, my dad knew this, is the third base coach of the Mariners. Well, if it was so obvious and such an incredible affront to baseball, then somebody besides one former Astro should have said something. And tomorrow in the Trib, I'm going to have an interview with Kevin Smith, who's the former White Sox catcher, now with the Tampa Rays, went with the Angels in between. Seneca Valley, former Pitt quarterback.
That's where people know him.
Right, exactly. Well, you got to bring it back to Pittsburgh eventually,
Absolutely.
Bob. So he's back in Pittsburgh, and we were talking about this today. I'm going to post this as a podcast tomorrow in the Trib. And he was speaking about the depths to which people thought that this was going on and how widespread it is, at least the opinion is, that something was going on with the Astros. And maybe when it comes to visual cheating or electronic cheating, not necessarily relegated to just them.
You were showing me a video, too, of Jose Altuve after hitting a game-winning home run off Aroldis Chapman. And I guess video where he apparently had a wire on. A wire was, ladies and gentlemen, for a signal that they would get based on
Allegedly.
whatever pitch was allegedly. Okay,
right.
But anyway, if you look at the video, it does make you wonder, because he must have had a wire underneath, and that he was rounding third base and told people not to pull on his jersey because he didn't want the wire to be exposed.
Right, so he's coming around third base. A lot of people have seen the video by now. If you haven't, look it up. It's all over online. He's coming around third base. He's coming down the third base line, and he literally does this and pulls on his jersey and says, don't pull my jersey. And he scores, he celebrates, the rest of the celebration's going on, and he just runs right into the dugout, goes into the clubhouse, comes out with the celebration T-shirt on over his jersey. And then there's a second player, I can't remember who it was, it might have been Reddick or Marisnik or one of the other guys, I couldn't tell who it was, that was doing an interview. You could see a wire that's kind of like exposed here. So everybody's playing super sleuth on Twitter and suggesting that they were getting buzzed. You know, you got one buzz, that's a fastball. Two buzzes, that's a curve. Three, that's a changeup.
And honestly, if you know what pitch is coming, you're going to hit it. I don't care what people say. You still going to. I've heard a lot of this. Oh, the Astros still had to go out, regardless of that. They had to still go out and win games. They had to go out and hit the baseball. No, but if you know a pitch is coming,
true.
You're going to have an amazing advantage.
That's what Kevin told me, is that what happened. You can see in the video. The reason I interviewed Kevin for this is that if you go and you look at the original video that busted the Astros in the first place against the White Sox, this is the one that was used by Fangraphs, was picked up by Hardball Talk. Kevin's the catcher in that video. And Danny Farquhar, the pitcher, when he's on the mound, you could hear the drum banging back in 2017 3 times. So the third time, Kevin comes out, they change up the signals, which is to say they didn't give any signals. They just set up a sequence, and on the first pitch after he goes behind the plate without any sequence, Evan Gattis strikes out. And looks bad doing it, too, by the way.
We got to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Penguins, who were losers tonight in Boston. That's become a regular theme. As that was going on, Washington won a game. So we'll talk about the Penguins situation and much more. The phone lines are open for you at 412-575-2600. Call now, and we will hook you up right here live on Pittsburgh CW. The Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call is brought to you by Ireland Contracting, celebrating 25 years as Pittsburgh's #1 home exterior expert in roofing, siding, windows, and gutters, where honesty and integrity still matter.